people want to do more, right? Whether it be Taproot or Layer 2, Citria, all these things, they want to put more programmability, functionality, whatever.
It's not really programmability because all the programmability in this case happens on their sidechain.
Okay.
What they do is just storing 144 bytes of data to publish on the chain.
Sure. So it starts, that's sort of what I was getting at, and thank you for clarifying that. It starts with people want to store more data. Let's set aside like what for or why. The second thing is the concern ends up being if we're storing more data, there's a concern around bloat, tip point validation, sync speed, the amount of resources that individual node operators are going to have to bear the burden of. Is that right? Do I have those two?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I need to differentiate still. It's specifically what they need is storing data in a transaction output, which is not discounted, and it's not standard today. Whereas if you want to store data, well, I guess the main difference here is that if you want to store data in Bitcoin, you can. If you want to store data in an output by Bitcoin Core, you cannot. And Bitcoin and Bitcoin Core are two different things. Right. Bitcoin Core has tighter rules for relay than Bitcoin itself. And what these people want is to store a very small amount of data and still use the Bitcoin Core relay network. Yeah. There are people in the set of, we want to store data. They're storing 4 megs of data on Bitcoin. And they don't use Bitcoin Core because they don't need to. They just access directly to a miner. But these guys want to store 100,000 times less data. But still, they cannot do it. Bitcoin Core prevents them. And instead of just going away, because Bitcoin Core cannot prevent them from using an alternative solution, they just use an alternative solution to still do it. Yeah. In a more harmful way.
I see. Okay. That's helpful clarification. I guess like the progression of this, you have people wanting to do this thing, it not being super compatible with Bitcoin Core as it presently stands. There's a reason behind that, and there are these concerns that we talked about.
I don't think there is a good reason for Bitcoin Core having a standardness limit on op return today.
Well, on a go-forward basis, just
historical
right now.
reasons
Historical reasons, but just right now, the reason that that's not enabled, there
historical reasons.
Historical reasons, great. Right. So then, from my perspective, we had sort of a blow up around, what do they want to store and why, and more conversations around what was sort of a subjectively acceptable use of this capability, and other folks saying that was a subjectively abhorrent use of Bitcoin. Is that fair? Is that where we got to this point?
I think the way we got to this point is by confusing the op return proposition with the JPEG people.
Okay.
It's like the JPEG people are using witness data. They can do it today. This op return thing is not changing anything. And I think, how do you say it without conspiracy theory? It's the interest of people.
Those, though. I mean, I would love for you to do that.
All right. It's the interest of one company in particular to blow it out of proportion and confuse people by mixing a lot of topics together and spreading misinformation, and it works very well.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we got there.
That is actually some very good spice. It's not just that. I guess one case could be made if you're going to look at what a response to the backlash from the email could have been. One would be the people are retarded. But I guess you are right that there is a second, someone with economic incentives to put forth this narrative.
Yeah, so I don't think people are retarded. I think people get concerned when they don't have the time and the incentive to access more information. They get the small amount of information that they get, and they get concerned. It's like, Bitcoin Core developers are changing Bitcoin. I've been told that. Well, no, Bitcoin Core developers are changing Bitcoin Core. Nobody is changing Bitcoin. I think it's for the best, but they've been lied to. And we've seen it in the narrative that is spread. It's like, no, the core devs are doing evil thing, therefore just go on this website, download my own executable and run it with your Bitcoin, it's fine. If mining was actually decentralized, this wouldn't be an issue anymore. We wouldn't have fucking policy anymore.